May profits be upon you. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. And we are going to go over the Dixie, all right, the US dollar index, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, DAX, or German 40, oil, gold, silver. Then we're going to end the video and start another video, part two, for the euro, the pound, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, uh, Swiss, Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. All right. So follow along. We're going to dive right into it. Let's start out with the Dixie. Let me take a sip. Ask me what I'm drinking. I'm drinking cranberry fruit cocktail. Okay. Now, let's see. I got to take a break sometimes. Okay. With the Dixie, you see the channel. All right. I don't trade with channels, but I tend to point out some things that are obvious, right? You can see that this is a pretty defined range of price, and the the trend is pretty obvious. And we've hit this side one, two, three times. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. All right. But what it does mean is the possibility of price maybe wanting to reach up here. All right. Maybe because price has made lower lows, right, and lower highs to this diagonal support, this the support channel, and then we start to see in this leg of price start to make bullish breaks of structure to the upside, making higher highs and higher lows. All right, that's all I'm pointing out. All right, and if we go a little more, so we can see a little more detail, what I want you to see is we had a bullish PD array, a bullish uh, fair value gap that price traded into and respected. And you saw that the reaction, a very bullish reaction where we traded through the swing high. All right. Traded through, not just wick through and just grabbed the liquidity and then went back the opposite way. This one traded through, which demonstrates the intention of price to go higher. All right. The problem is it didn't leave behind a fair value gap. It quickly took that away with this bearish candle and then a follow through bearish candle. The deal is it's going into the order block. All right. This is where you would call the change in the state of delivery, otherwise known as a order block. All right. Down close candles, and then the push past that high of this candle. This is a fair value area, an area of fair value. Price is trading back into that area of fair value and should reject away. I am leaning bearish in this market. With that in mind, uh, I want you to see what we're looking at on the S&P. All right. Now I'm going to go to the weekly just to give you a clue as to how I'm thinking about it. We have a weekly fair value gap after this push to the push higher. All right, and then we have a follow up push higher with a close above that previous candle. All right, the previous weekly candle. So you're thinking price will probably come back into this fair value gap and then continue higher. I hate it when there's those squiggly lines like that, but that's what I'm expecting. So I'm thinking that we may have a down week for the candle. I need to mention NFP is happening Friday. We're going to see a lot of consolidation in these markets that I'm about to show you. Some of them look quite indecisive, and these are the times where you don't want to be trading in those markets. You look for clearer markets, all right, and I'll point them out. But the consolidation usually comes for big events, FOMC, uh, 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 NFP, and CPI. Those are those are the times where uh, you have high impact news, and it can turn the markets really volatile, and things will push right through all of your analysis. The markets will push right through all of your analysis, just blow them out the water. So you want to be clear that uh, about your trading, and you want to be very careful about your setups. All right, so I'm looking for price to come back and touch that weekly before it goes higher. Here's the deal. All right, on the daily, you can see how price. If I can get another one, yeah. If you can see how price uh, left a fair value gap and price traded right through it. All right, had a very weak uh, showing of this fair value gap, but it never broke. It never closed below the low of that fair value gap. And price kind of is in this consolidation. On Friday, we saw price take out the high and then turn bearish and take out the previous low. All right, and we still have the swing low for a draw on liquidity. I would think that price may start out bullish at the start of the week, maybe Monday, and then come and take this low, this previous low for the low of the week, right? Of the past week, and then come into that weekly fair value gap and then go higher. You understand? I hope you do. I hope that's clear. If we look at NQ, look at this. Look at this consolidation, and then we're going to go to NQ. I mean Nasdaq, and you tell me which one you think is stronger or weaker. We had the same fair value gap here, right? If I can get to it, I don't know. Yeah, right. Wait, I don't know what just happened there. Okay. All right. I just got to do this. Uh, it's because I'm not using my other tool. All right. So it price traded through that fair value gap and closed below it. All right. Unlike with the S&P, closed through it, and then it tapped into this daily fair value gap. And where's the weekly one? It's nested with inside. So price is already in the weekly. All right. If we go to the weekly, you can see this. All right. It's very clear on the weekly that uh, we are tapping in. There's nothing bearish about this. Nothing bearish. All right. Prices in a bullish fair value gap. I'm expecting prices to hold here and go higher. We can take another candle and take that low, but it would still. You see how high it closed, and here's the consummate encroachment, the 50% of this fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap here. It's nowhere near it, and price could still come down here and then uh, turn bullish. It could. We're going to find out, but right now I can't call a bearish scenario here. This is bullish. And if we go to the back to the daily, uh, what am I expecting? I'm expecting uh, just using next candle theory, right? Price opened here bullishly, turned bearish, and then closed within the range of the previous candle. All right, we use next candle theory. We didn't take that low. I'm thinking that price will probably push lower, probably push lower here and take out that low. And we could see a sweep into this and then continue higher. Listen, if I'm going to take a low, if I'm going to take a short, I'm going to take it on NASDAQ as opposed to ES. ES is a little stronger. Why? Because, like I told you, it already took out that fair value gap that uh, uh, where the S&P survived, that bullish fair value gap survived and is got price in consolidation right now. This one has already trashed it. So we are responding to the fair value gap on the weekly and the daily on Nasdaq. We could see higher prices come from this area, but I'm looking for price to take out that low first. We'll see. All right. Hope that makes sense. Uh, if we go to the Dow, which is the the crazy one of the of the indices. A little bit crazy. You see, we are responding to on the weekly. There's a weekly fair value gap here, and I have it highlighted. Have a daily highlighted in that same area, and price is responding to that daily fair value gap. We've gone back up into it on Friday. You see these doji candles. You see this consolidation. This is what you see before the NFP. So bear that in mind. Okay, and uh, I'm not looking to trade this at all. All right, this is not something that you want to see it. But when you see price take out the swing low, trade through it, come back to it, you expect price to continue lower, and the actual structural swing low should be and would be the target. All right, I'm not expecting price to eat through this, but it could happen. But that's not my expectation. So I'm expecting lower prices. Okay, next, uh, on the DAX. The DAX is not strong enough to lead the group of the indices I just went over. It's going to follow. All right. You can see that there was a very big order block here. The price pushed down. We traded back up into it. Yeah, I'm expecting lower prices to come from here. I have this the swing low here as my one of my external targets. This is the extreme, the actual real external target. But this is the closest one first. You always go to the first one first, the closest one first. We can go up, sweep these highs. We can go up, sweep these highs here. All right, mitigate this order block one more time, and then come back for those lows. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But that is the DAX. All right. Uh, Oil. I didn't want you to see that. I want you to see that. I wanted you to see that we have an a series of up close candles, up close candles, all right, bullish candles, and then we that break structure to the downside. This becomes an order block, and what is a failed order block? All right, price came back, traded into that order block. You would expect, hey, we're going to continue down once price hits that order block. No, 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 not unless it becomes a breaker block. All right. And as price climbed up here, it left these bullish fair value gaps here. This is because of that. It left those bullish fair value gaps there. And that's what I want to see. That gives me, it not only does it validate the, the my thought as to the intent of price to go higher. This supports these bullish fair value gaps support price going higher. All right, what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to come back to this breaker block and then continue with higher prices, and that's how I think the week is going to go. All right. If we just take one quick look at the weekly, you can see there's a bullish fair value gap here. All right. You have the swing high going through, and uh, we close below the range, close back within the range of the previous candle. So I'm looking for price to come back down, to come into that fair value gap, and then continue with higher prices. Yes, I do. So maybe a day or two of down close, well, bearish candles, maybe a day or two, and as soon as we hit the POI, I'm looking for price to go higher. Okay. Uh, Next one is gold. Gold is not easy, not an easy read at all. But what I want to say is, I think we're going to hit lower prices here because I think the U.S. dollar is going to be stronger, and because price is, you know, been sideways, right? It's just sideways. but we're at the low end of the range. If you're a range player, you just play the tops and bottoms. You buy at the bottoms, you sell at the tops, right? But I'm not a range player. We have relative equal lows here, all right, which would be a great draw on liquidity. Thursday's candle and Friday's candle kind of give me an indication as price trades back up into this bullish fair value gap. I mean bearish fair value gap here, that I think uh, it'll act as resistance and bring price back down. So there's a bullish fair value gap here, daily, a daily here, and I'm looking for price to just sweep these lows, maybe just enough to sweep and then go higher. That's what I'm looking for. Higher, lower prices this week for gold. All right. Eventually, maybe next week, we'll see them go higher. Okay. I hope that makes sense. We got silver. Silver, I happen to like. Why? Because you see this fair value gap. This is a daily fair value gap. Price traded back into it. You expect it to come on down, but what it did was on Friday, it went back up into the order block and then rejected. If I'm going to take a short, if I'm going to take a short between the two correlated um, markets, silver and gold, I would rather take the short on gold. All right, I'd rather take the short on gold, and uh, and leave silver alone. All right, if I'm going to take a long, I'd rather take it from silver because it seems to be a little bit stronger. But you see this orange line here? We have hit. We are. This is responding to the order block that's down here that left behind. See how price left this price range? So I'm looking for price maybe to fight to continue up. At least find support here. All right, that's a different look from what gold it gave us. You see this? Came up and then gave the doji on Friday. All right, this one rejected on Friday. It's still a doji candle, but you know, I got more short vibes from gold than I did from silver, but I do not expect higher prices. I think it's going to run into this ceiling. Okay, for silver. If we go to that's the last one. So I'm going to end the video here. All right, I'm going to put part two right on your screen as this one is ending. If you don't see it, go to the comment section. You'll see. I'll leave a link there for you. And I want you to be careful this week. May profits be upon you. See you in the next video.